Gundam.tk presents Wing Gundam. Hey everybody, Robert184 from Gundam.tk. This is part 5 and I'm continuing my look at the parts of the Master Grade Wing Gundam and comparing that to the high grade wing. But anyway, let's get this show continued. I'm liking the Buster Rifle a lot. It is in this tiny little bit of gunmetal gray. I don't even know if that's the right word for it. But anyway, it's certainly not the solid gray block of the high grade. For moving parts, lots of little details. First of all, you just put on little things around here. You can put in some black lining, but the trigger moves here up and down, depending on where you want to put that in. One yellow part there. The assembly here at the end is actually pretty cool because you actually slide a part in and then attach this onto it. A green sticker goes on there, and if you crack this open, if I had this open, you'd see that there's actually a very cool slide mechanism inside as well, and you're able to take these rounds on and off. So while it's cool that these go on and off, please be careful because you'll notice that there's a part here and then you slide this frame over the top of it. But when I was putting this Buster Rifle together, I actually carelessly snapped this small part off. So anyway, just be careful when you're putting this stuff together. So while the arms of the high grade were much larger, this big gray block with a little gray thing that you slap onto it is actually a fair bit shorter than the new Buster Rifle. I think the shield of the Wing Gundam is probably one of its biggest highlights, and first of all, these are white parts that you're just going to slap a big red part over top. These are actually 3 separate white parts with a gray part that shows through there. But I didn't seal this up because I just wanted to show you on the inside. You're able to bend this open, and when you do that, the beam saber is attached on there so he can pull it out of the shield. But just to have a slide mechanism like this inside the shield just impressed me to no end. And anyway, because I noticed, unlike what I said in the earlier parts, you actually put the sticker on the outside of the sensor, and because of that, I just decided to paint this all clear green. Here's a size comparison with a win for the Master Grade, but also just the detail. This is just a big red block, and you just put on 3 white parts and a very poor sticker there, sorry, a 4th white part. But just no competition in the complexity and detail that go into building this one. There's also no contest at all with the insides. You'll notice that this is where you attach the Buster Rifle when you put it into bird mode, and this is where you attach it to the backpack. So they used a similar design there, but look how you attach this to the arm, and then look at this cool set of moving equipment inside. A ton more possibilities with the Master Grade. The wings blew me away when I was putting them together with their complexity, and first of all, it's the little details, like you'll notice here the white part on top of the red instead of just being a solid red part here. But it's this kind of detail. So first of all, you can open that up and you'll notice it detaches. You have to be a little bit careful when you're sealing it up to get it just right. And you can also spread this out this much. And the fact that they allow you to split the white wing while still having some continuity there just makes this look that much cooler when the wing is whooshing through the air. Other small details like the fact that you put a cap over these parts which make them easy to line on the inside. And then, looking very cool when it's all sealed up, you can do that for the red. And these yellow parts here are 2 pieces. This is a separate yellow piece. It's not a part of the big one. And again, vents at the top. And for size, never mind the color that this is just solid blue and this is just white with no splits here. Clearly, they've gone with a much smaller body, but a much bigger set of weapons and wings, which is going to make the Master Grade look a lot better, I'm sure. The mount mechanism is fairly complex when you're putting it together and solid. First of all, you've got independent moving thrusters on the bottom, slap a little bit of lining in there, and then this is where we're going to attach the shield when we put it into bird mode. But first of all, the wings bend 90 degrees here, but what's sort of cool about this is if you want to put the wings forward, you'll notice that they bend here, but you'll also notice that the backpack is actually on a rotating piece up here, which is going to be able to bring them even further forward. So to contrast this is just one big gray solid block with 2 polycaps holding everything in place. And are you able to bring them up? The answer is no. Huge win for the Master Grade. The beam saber is pretty cool because it's not just boring and straight, but anyway, the handle is pretty cool. And I thought it was white, but somebody said they had just watched the anime in one of the comments on one of my earlier vids, and thanks to everybody who comments. And they said it was gray. So remember, this is going to detach here. It's a good snug fit. And you crack open the shield, and then you're able to plug this down inside. And then you can seal that up. And Hero's ready to go to war. And it looks like it's popping out, but very smooth sealing mechanism here. I also wanted to show you a little bit of the head before you put it together. So basically you just have a big green block and then you're going to put in the yellow Vulcans like this, which will go forward, and a little bit of lining there. And then small things were done very well. First of all, for the red chin part, usually you'll have a mark down there from where you cut it off, but they actually hid where the gate is attached on the inside, so that was a plus. The face guard has some very thin lines, so you're going to have to be a little bit careful when you're going in there lining it to get it just right. The eyes and cameras work pretty well, and when you put on the sticker, if you get it lined up just right, you'll notice that there's a ridge that sticks out, and that corresponds with the white part of the sticker, so that's pretty good. So you'll want to just use your fingernails and something just sort of to push that down, and then you can sort of get the beveled effect. Here's the head mostly put together. You'll notice that once you put on the face and you just put on this back part here, then you're just going to slide this white part onto the front where you'll attach the V-fin, and then you actually have two sides for the face. And it's a little bit hard to get the lining in there and a very thin channel there, and my inking is way too dark on the back. But overall, the fact that you put it on, it's still pretty cool that we're not going to have very many seam lines. But one thing I'm a little bit unhappy about is that there are big ugly cuts to make, and they're right here on the edge of the wings and right here on the helmet. So I've shaved them off as best I can. But at the same time, Bandai, I think you could have put the gates on somewhere else. Now you've seen the head being put together, but here it is in its final product, and I have to say that it's a little small, but it does still suit what I remember of it from the anime. First of all, the yellow Vulcans really stand out well, especially if you put in a little bit of lining there. You can put a little black dot there on the front jewel. Though I could put more lining on the front, I'm sort of happy with this in its simplified lined state, we could say. But anyway, what's really cool about this is that the head is on a fantastic moving neck mechanism. So you can have this Wing Gundam do pretty much anything. The menacing looking down look is not that looking down, but looking up, that's pretty cool actually, the way that they've added that neck mechanism. And these really are side by side. You'll notice the huge size difference in the chest and the head in general. Especially with the V-fin, this one is big and bulky and sort of shoots out there. It's got a gold part in the middle instead of the red seal. It does have just the red chin. They did a better job with this one than they did with the Wing Zero. But these lines off to the side, though I do seem to remember them from the opening, this head is just a much cleaner, simpler look, and much more along the lines of the Master Grade Victory Gundam in its construction, compared to this old, blocky, I don't even know what to call it. For extra parts that are going to go straight into a Ziploc for me, we have a tiny figure of Hiro Yui in a tuxedo-ish suit, whatever, and we also have a special custom mount mechanism, and compared to the Master Grade Exia, already this one looks to be a lot more solid. So as mentioned earlier, this is not a 3-finger trigger finger split like is usual for Gundam. You do have an independent moving thumb, but these parts are just going to pop out, and you'll notice here we have a different set of fists, and overall you get 4 different sets of manipulators. Here's the closed up fist, and also you're going to get a trigger finger, which is interesting because they give you one for both the left and right hands. So there you have it, lots to talk about for these parts. So pretty much what they did is with the Master Grade, everything in the body is sleeker and slimmer with much less lining, and instead we're going to have oversized weapons and oversized wings. And probably the only parts difference, I don't know if, well, the gold or the yellow is just sort of a style choice, but the high grade 1/100th, this one you have to take the fists off when you transform it into bird mode, but in this case, at the price of having very weak wrists here, you are able to keep the hands in place when you transform it. So on the sum of all of its parts, no doubt so far that the Master Grade is winning by a large margin, so the high grade can pretty much just get out of here. So anyway, everybody, stay tuned for the next part, because it doesn't matter how good the parts are in the build, which was great by the way, it all depends on how it comes together. So anyway, everybody stay tuned for the next part where we see this all put together, posed and size compared. And thanks for watching everybody. Robert184, Gundam.tk, rate, comment and subscribe if you like the videos. See you soon.